record. All right, ladies. So we have Taylor Proctor here with us, and she's gonna tell us a little bit about herself. Christina, how was your day? Really quick, let's just kind of
Pretty
see.
good so far. No
Yeah.
complaints.
You look
How
really
about
good.
you?
What you're wearing too. Like you look like a rock star.
Yeah, I was like, wait, did I do the I love you? Because I always
The
get
quiet
confused between
coyote.
like Quiet Coyote or am I love you? You know what I mean? Like which one's the rock star? I don't remember.
All right, Taylor, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and, you know, what makes you you, about your story. We want to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on the show today. And it's an honor to be here and talk with you, lovely ladies, and to your audience. I'm Taylor Proctor, and I'm a business coach. And I help business owners get good at business so they can get back into why they got into business in the first place. Right. I think we've all been there where it's like you get into business for the freedom or to offer solutions, transformation, to help people spend more time with your family, like whatever it is that got you into business. And then to be a business owner, you have to get good at all the business elements. And suddenly you're like, I'm spending all my time figuring out how to do marketing and finance and customer service and outreach and sales and all of that. And then you kind of lose the heart of why you got into business in the first place. So I work with business owners, helping them get good at business so they can get back to why they got into business in the first place. So that's a little bit about me and who I help and what I do.
Awesome. Go ahead and tell us, Christina, do you have any questions first for Taylor? We were going to jump into your story, but unless
So
you have a question.
no, yeah, I want to hear the story and then maybe I'll have some questions after.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, Taylor, go for it.
Well, so one of the things that I have a signature method that I teach within to help business owners get good at business, and it's IMOVE, and it stands for, the I is intuition, and then marketing, operations, velocity, and execution. Thought being is that we've all taken marketing action that we followed to the letter because somebody said it would work and then it didn't. Right? Then you fell flat on his face and you're like, what's wrong with me? I did what they said and it didn't work. It's because it wasn't congruent and aligned, which is the intuition first part of the IMOVE, right? And then when you're taking aligned action, your marketing really starts to take off. That helps support building out operations in your business to succeed, which then gives you more velocity and more strategies to build that life that you want and allows you to execute with ease and step into the leadership of who you are. But I really want to talk today about the intuition part of it, because I have a crazy story, like super crazy story. I share it and I'm like, I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe this happened. But it's all about generating an 8-figure business opportunity. So do you want me to dive in?
Yes.
Please.
Well, let's do it. Okay. So I walk every day. Like I pace on my back patio because walking is great, but there's a lot of things happening. And so I just try to like pace on my back patio. And I do that for about 45 minutes every day. And I use that opportunity to listen to music, to meditate, of course, walking meditation, to listen to really good guided walkthrough meditations, like all those types of things. And say declarations, all of that. So one day I was doing my pacing and I had the thought I could be an 8-figure entrepreneur. Now, this thought was way out of left field because I tell you, I had to count on my fingers. Okay, how much is 8 figures? Like, I don't even know what that is because we hear 6 figures, we hear 7 figures. I was like, what is even 8 figures mean? And it's $10 million at a minimum. And so the fact that that thought came to me was really out of left field because, again, I didn't even know what 8 figures was. So I counted it out on my hands and was like, okay, 8 figures. And I'm like, well, that's a weird thought. I don't even know how I would make that happen. So then I started doing all of the, okay, well, if I sold this much of this service that I offer and this much here, and I close some one-on-one packages and da-da-da-da-da, like maybe I could get part of the way there. And then I had the thought of, no, release the expectation of how it's going to happen. And I think we all do that, right? We set a goal and then we go, okay, how do I make it happen? Yes. And then what happens is usually you get stuck on the how, or the how is overwhelming, or you're like, even if I did sell 7 1,000 of this package at the current price point, I still wouldn't even make a dent in 8 figures. So what am I going to do? Right. So it gets, once you get into the how, you kind of get lost in that shuffle of overwhelm. And this is going to take so much work and effort. Is it really worth it? Can I do it? All of those thoughts start to come because you put an expectation on how you're going to achieve that goal. So I had the thought come to me, the intuition of forego the expectations. Just trust that you can be an 8-figure entrepreneur. Okay. Yeah. Easier said than done, but okay. So keep on pacing, and a couple of days go by and I decided to create a custom declaration. So mine is, I'm Taylor Proctor. I'm an intuitive business strategist and 8-figure entrepreneur. So really simple and easy, my name, what I do, and what I want. Okay. Right? I'm Taylor Proctor, intuitive business strategist, an 8-figure entrepreneur. So what I do, what I want. And I just said that over and over and over and over again, because I'm pacing. I've got nothing better to do. And I just say it over and over again. I'm saying it out loud. I'm saying it whispered. I'm saying it in a funny accent. I'm saying it while I'm laughing at the dogs running in the yard. Like I'm just saying it. And then even in my car, like I'm just saying that all the time. And I created that like custom declaration based off of this initial thought of I can be an 8-figure entrepreneur. So fast forward, I did a couple of other things, which we'll get to that later, but I did a couple of other things in the process, and flash forward to 2 weeks later. And it's a Saturday and there's an event that I said I would go to. The event is about 2 hours away from where I live. And it's Saturday morning. It starts at 9 a.m. And like, you got to get ready. That takes time. Then you got to drive up there. And I was like, I do not want to go to this event. Like, I don't. Like, we've been there, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
So it was like, man, I just don't want to go. And I had the thought of like, funny enough, it was like, don't be lazy. You need to go. And I'm like, okay, so we're foregoing the expectations. We're doing custom declarations. And now don't be lazy. Go to this event. So I get ready. I go to this event. And well, there was a speaker. She was amazing. And we had like a 10-minute get to know you break. So they put everybody in like parallel lines. And so then one, like at the 2-minute mark, the bell would ring and one of the lines would rotate. So you'd meet a couple people in this 10-minute break. And this lady that was a speaker, like, makes sure she's in front of me. And I'm like, okay, hi, you know? And so we start talking and she goes, well, how come I don't know you? I'm like, I don't know. How come you don't know me? Right? Like this is up in Ogden, 2 hours away from where I live. Like, I don't know how I don't know you. And she's like, well, we need to talk. Let me get your phone number. And like, I want to connect with you. Okay. So we exchange phone numbers. The rest of the event goes fine. I come home, think nothing of it. It was like, cool, I went to the event. That's it. Well, that was a Saturday. Monday morning, she texts me and she says, hey, come on over to my house. But where do you live? Turns out we live 7 minutes away from each other.
Oh my gosh.
Never crossed paths, anything. 7 minutes away. So I just hop in my car, drive 7 minutes, and there we are. And she has a international women's network and interactive like TV shows for these women in her network. And I'm thinking, because I have a podcast over 500 episodes, I've spoken on over 100 stages, like I'm the ideal person to have come do a show on the network. So I'm thinking she's going to try to sell me into having a show, which great. So we start talking. She asks me about my history, my past. And I say, you know, I'm a business coach. Before that, 15 years of corporate marketing, leadership, operations, and strategy, led international teams, like the works. And she goes, I need you to join my executive team. And I'm like, okay. Like, we don't know each other. Like,
right.
We've had an hour to talk. And she's like, yeah, no, I need you on my executive team. So we speak and negotiate, and she's like, I'll give you a salary to be my COO, fractional executive, and also 1% equity ownership in the company. I'm like, great, that sounds awesome. So I think about it, and there's this concept that I had a coach tell me about, which is seagulls versus land, or birds versus land. So
Okay.
back in the day, when you had people crossing the ocean, pirates or, military, whatever, or pilgrims coming across, there was always a couple days, like 3 to 5 days before you hit land, you would start to see seagulls. So you knew you were on the right track, but you weren't there yet. Like seeing seagulls didn't mean you instantly were there within an hour, you're at land. It was like, okay, we got a couple more days, but we're almost there. We're heading in. So I had a coach tell me about this once, and it was really this concept of when you're setting an intention or a goal, or you have this thought, like I can be an 8-figure entrepreneur, there are going to be times and things that come up that are seagulls and that are land. So it's like seagulls are there to tell you you're on the right track, but maybe don't take that opportunity and know now that land is coming. So I have a unique tool that I use that's called intuitive strengths. And that's also part of the I in my IMOVE. And there's actually over 60, that is 60 different ways that you can receive intuition hits. And my intuitive strength for business strategy and like moving forward in my life is actually the strength of adventure. And what that means is that if I step into something and it feels like I am ready to put on that backpack, I don't care if it's got 2 gallons of water in it, it's heavy, and I'm putting my Cliff Bars, like let's hike up that mountain, and then the next one, like if I feel that excitement, that adventure, then I know it's the right thing for me. I know it's land. If I feel that like, all right, I'm going to have to put on my backpack. I'm going to have to fill up with water. And, I got to wear my hiking shoes and thick socks so I don't get blistered. Like very different energy of the same thing, right? And so when I feel that sense of adventure, I know that strategically it's the right move for me. And that means that it's land. So fast forward back to she's offered me this job. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that sounds good. And I feel the sense of adventure. So following my intuition, I'm like, yes, that aligns. Let's do it. So sign the contract, working for her. I'm like 2 days into working with her and for the company and the organization. And she says, oh, by the way, we've partnered with a mergers and acquisitions broker. She's wrote an incredible book and we're working with her and we're looking to sell the company within 3 to 5 years. And she believes we can sell it for $1 billion or more. Keep in mind, it's an international, interactive, multimedia network for women. Like, of course, it's going to sell for a lot if she decides to sell it. So, but now she has decided. So we're working with a mergers and acquisitions broker, selling it for $1 billion. I'm like, okay, great. So I'm like thinking all the things that we need to put into place to be able to sell it for that much and what that looks like and growing the company as needed, all of that you do as a COO. And I come home and I'm like, we're going to sell for $1 billion. And maybe you've already done the math. I'm not a math person, but I was like, what's 1% of that? Because I have 1% ownership now in this company. And 1% of $1 billion is 10 million. And 10 million
zeros
is 8 figures, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like within a 2-week time frame of having this blast idea that was completely out of nowhere, having to count on my hand 8 figures, what that looks like, taking the steps and the action of like foregoing the expectations, creating a custom declaration that worked for me, not being lazy, and knowing when the right opportunities are there. Suddenly, I've just had this drop in my lap of this 8-figure opportunity that I never would have had before. And I mean, I've got the certificate of ownership and everything. Like, it's happening. And that's the craziest story ever, but it's like, wow, I can't believe that actually happened in such a quick time frame by following just a couple of steps and really leaning into my intuition to find these business opportunities, which is why intuition is the first part of the IMOVE method in what I teach for business owners.
Wow, that's just amazing that you could like get to that point, have the intuition and just go for it.
Well, the thing is it's not me, right? Like it's this completely anybody, right? Could get a thought for what they want, right? Put in custom declarations that are for them and what they want and who they are, show up when the opportunities arise, tap into their intuition. Like anything can happen from that point. And granted, I did do a couple of other things in those 2 weeks, but like the core portion of it, like that, and even the other things I did are completely accessible to any person. Like I'm not special. It's just that I have now this incredible story I get to share to hopefully inspire other people to start to pay attention to those things for their own life.
And I
Now,
think that's, sorry,
go.
one
No,
of
go.
the main key points right there is the fact that you wanted it and you were open to it. Because I think all of us sit here and we think, oh yeah, we want that.
Mhm.
But then as much as we say we want it, we're still blocked because, of all the, you know, negative thoughts we have in our head, everything that you've been talking about, you know what I mean? We have all these other reasons why we won't allow ourselves to get there. But that's so huge that you allowed yourself, to access what you actually wanted. So that's awesome.
Which was so like, it's so funny because you hear when people talk about manifestation, they're like, yeah, it's just right here. You just have to reach out and grab it. And I'm like, mine was 7 minutes away. Right? Like
Right.
7 minutes away, and holy cow. But I think I know you're 100% right. Like, so I'll just jump into really quickly. So to anybody listening today, I have a freebie completely free to join, which is an 8-part email series. And it's a video email series where I share the 8 crazy things, 4 of which we've talked about today, that I did to be able to make this happen. So there's 4 more things. And one of those dives deeply into like the beliefs and the who are you to do this, and the identity of being the kind of person that can have those things happen. And so I share in that series the component of that I had to kind of work through to be able to have this happen as well, and to not be lazy and to step up and to trust my intuition in all those parts. So you're 100% spot on, and definitely cover that in the free series and free resource for your listeners.
Perfect.
Sign me up.
And that's going to be a link, right, that we can put underneath here and
Yes, ma'am.
Post it. Perfect. I have a question on the custom declarations that you did for yourself. Do you help your clients create those, or do you just, how does that work?
Yeah. So when I work with business owners, if they need that portion for themselves, 100%. But it's always, my big thing is it's always custom, because how many times I will be the first to raise my hand and be like, oh, I have so many Pinterest pins saved of like, here's the declaration to receive more money, and here's the declaration to be better at
Stop
business.
calling me out right now, okay?
Right? Like, there's all these mantras, affirmations, declarations, whatever we're going to call them, that are great. I'm not poo-pooing on them, right? But they're generic. And like, that's fine. But if you're you, right? So how do we tap into the identity and who you want to be and the goals that you want to have? And so at a very structural, foundational level, it's saying your name, what you do, and what you want. And if you can touch that framework, it's simple and easy. And I know people that, and I mean, I've done this too, where it's like an entire page of a manifesto. And I'm like, that's great. Like, it's super empowering to write that and kind of see the vision of what this could look like. And if you want to sit down and read that every single day, that's awesome. However, a single sentence, no more than 3 sentences, declaration to yourself that you can memorize easily and say while you're walking the dog, say when you're stuck at a traffic light, say before you go into a big sales meeting, that is what makes the difference. And if you look at the science behind it, right, your reticular activating system or center, I don't remember if it's RAC or RAS, but it's your center that filters everything out, right? So it's like, these are the 20 things that you're focusing on. That's the 20 things we need to focus on. Your brain's not going to focus to the fact that I've got a necklace around my neck and I can feel it on the hairs of my neck the whole time I'm wearing it. Your brain's like, cool, we know it's there. Focus on the rest. And that's what your RAC does. And so to get through new ideas, new concepts, we always hear about this with like cars. If you're like, oh, I'm thinking about getting a new car, I might get like a red Toyota. And then you see red Toyotas everywhere. That is because you've gotten through your reticular activating center. So the way to get new things into that center and past the filters is to see it, say it, hear it, and feel it. So when you have a short, memorable declaration that you are saying, that you have written down, put it on your mirror, put it on your dashboard, put it on the side of your computer, right? Now you're seeing it. When you're saying it, you're hearing it. And if you're doing it while you're in movement, you are feeling it. So it gets it through your system so much faster that these opportunities that you never would have known or seen before, AKA the neighbor down the street, right? never would have known or seen before are suddenly available to you because you've worked through the scientific and biology filter to be able to bring those into your life. So yes, that was a very long answer too. I do work with my clients to help them craft declarations. The structure is simple though. You do not have to work with somebody to find one that's personal to you. It really is start with who you are, what you do, what you want.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Taylor,
I
girl,
love
I'm
the simplicity.
so glad. What was that, Christina?
I just said I love the simplicity because I feel like sometimes you talk to different coaches and things, and they've got some great ideas that just seem so like unattainable because it's like there's so much to it, and it's exhausting just like listening to them, let alone trying to implement. And so something when there's smaller steps that are broken down to be something that, okay, that's something I can do. I can write that. Okay, awesome. I can, and having someone like you there to be able to be like, yep, that sounds like a good one. Here's another idea, whatever is super beneficial.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you popped up on my Facebook. I'm like, oh, I like her. She looks cool. And then I messaged you and we're here. And now I'm at this convention right here because of you. So I'm like, oh, everything's just aligning.
It's true, right? Go to the events, network with the people, right? There's so many pieces of like, as business owners, and Christina, you nailed it on the head. Like, as you're talking about coaches that have over complexity and things like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a reason why business owners hate marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, okay, you got to have this and then this and then this and then your funnel. And you're like, I don't even know how to do the first part, let alone a funnel. Like there's so many moving pieces. And so that's
874 steps to my program.
Yes, exactly. And so, I mean, and that's why, like for me personally, I really lean into the IMOVE method because it's like, yeah, we'll focus on marketing. We will focus on operations. We will build the strategies. We'll put in place the leadership, but it's led by intuition first. And now it's like, okay, you don't have to do 174 steps. Your intuition and what's truly congruent and aligned for you is actually do these 3.
Yep.
Right. And it makes such a difference. And it's so funny too. I offer one of my services is I work with coaches and customers one-on-one. So we call them quantum power days. And it's not meant to be like a coaching day where we do all the belief breakthroughs and I give you all the ideas and then you leave with more homework that you came with. It's not that kind of day. It's the day where it's like you have these things that have been on your to-do list to accomplish for your business that you've been putting off because you don't know how to do it, or you're like, I know this is the thing that's going to change my business for the positive and I'm scared to death, right?
Sure.
Like it's all those kind of things, or it's the little nuanced, ticky-tacky things that you're like, I just wish I could hand this off to a VA, but I can't yet. So I've got to find time to do it and I'm going to procrastinate on it. So it's all those kind of things. And we get 6 to 8 massive projects done in one 6-hour day. The thought being you tap into your innate power, you quantum leap your business forward, right? And at a minimum, it's 90 days, 3 months into the future, because it would take you that long to accomplish all of that by yourself. But in a 6-hour period, like we get it done. That all being said, I've had clients come and be like, okay, I want to do a course. Awesome. So we sit down, we do a couple of the things on their to-do list, and it's time to talk about the course and start to actually map that out, build your modules, your marketing copy, all of that, get it done. And really, then you just have to create the videos if you're doing videos. Mm-hmm. And I had a client that she's like, okay, yeah, we should do a course. And my ears should, right? Ears perk up. Well, okay, why? Like, okay, that's fine. I've helped tons of clients create courses in their quantum power days. Like it's not a problem for me, but I'm like, let me ask you, like, what is so exciting to you about creating a course? And she's like, well, I really would like the additional revenue and it's be this long-term thing and et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be straight with you. The same amount of energy is going to have to be used to market this. It is not a let's build it and they will come. It does not work that way. Like you are going to have to market this course. Yeah, shucks. I wish it was, right? Still takes work. Even an 8-figure opportunity, I had to do some stuff. And so it's like, but you're going to have to put that same amount of effort and energy into marketing this as you would anything else. So we can create it. but a should and this, back end revenue, when you're not seeming like you're really passionate about it, like I would say, let's put that on the back burner and focus on something that you're excited about. And she's like, yeah, actually, I really want to host a retreat. I'm like, awesome. We could spend 2 months building out your course. I mean, it won't take that long, but building out your course and marketing it and hoping to get a couple people in it. Or we can spend 2 months building out the retreat that you're excited about and get 10 people into it. And we ran the numbers really quickly, get 10 people into it. And for what it costs you to put on the retreat, plus the cost of being the retreat, you're profitable $20,000. Or the thing that you think is going to cause, additional revenue stream, but you're going to have to market all the time, that you're not really excited about. And she was like, yeah, let's do the retreat. So she had it, $20,000 profitable, right? And she was excited about it. She could step in and promote it every single day because she wanted to do that retreat. Now, that's not to say that she won't ever create a course, and I'm happy to help her when she's ready. But I could see through her physical demeanor, through her language, all those things, that she was taking that action because she thought she should, versus the action that was actually going to get her what she wanted in her business. So when we look at being intuitively aligned, right, and taking congruent action and not having to do all the marketing steps, that's what I mean. Like, everybody says you should have a course. Well, if you can be successful with retreats, why are you wasting your time creating a course if it's not aligned? And so that's why you've got to figure out what actually works for you as a business owner, and then take the steps that are congruent with that.
Love it.
As you can tell, I'm very passionate about it.
Oh, exactly. That's what I love about it. I think that's so important too, is exactly what you're saying. If we are doing the things we feel we have to do because it's what everybody else is doing, I mean, that's not what we need to do, right? That's not going to get us where we want to really go.
An energy of have to.
Yeah.
I mean, did anybody like cleaning their room when their mom told them they had to?
No.
And I mean, I'm one of those people where I'm like, I would totally do the dishes. Then now that my husband asked me to, I'm not.
Right.
Right? Like, I was all set to do it, and then I felt like I had to, and I don't want to do it anymore. And so it's like, not everybody has that personality, but I do. And so it's like, how do you set yourself up in your business to be something you want to do, that you're excited about, that you like? And it all starts with knowing what you want and tapping into your intuition and not feeling the pressure of, I've got to do everything because everybody says so.
Yeah.
Perfectly said.
Yeah. Love it. Love
All
it.
right. Well, thank you so much again for being on our podcast with us and sharing everything and your insights and how we can work. So we're going to have a link down below, and it's going to show how people can get a hold of you and the freebie. And yeah, just all your Facebook. Are you on Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff too?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Everything. You'll send it to me. All right. Well,
I'm feeling motivated. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm so excited, so excited for this little freebie. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to see where that takes me. And,
it's the thing. And there you go. Like, if that sense of adventure, right? And I'm not saying everybody has it, but it's that okay, if I get this and I might learn something, and that you never know where that leads, like that, you're on the right track.
Yep, for sure.
Great. All right, ladies, we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you all again later, and we'll have the links down below.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Me too.